Hey friends, Gary here. Welcome to today's video. Today I'm sharing my 8 favorite budget lenses for Micro Four Thirds camera format. So last year I made a similar video. However, today's video is a little bit different because there are some lenses on this list that I haven't featured before. They are now becoming very compelling choices if you are looking for ultra budget Micro Four Thirds lenses. Today I will combine first party Micro Four Thirds lens options as well as some third party ultra budget Micro Four Thirds lens options so that we can cover different price brackets. However, one thing for sure is that all of the lenses featured today will be definitely less than 500 US dollar. Again, before we start diving into each lenses themselves, I want to remind you that these lenses are my personal favorite. So this is not some kind of comprehensive list, that kind of stuff. But anyway, I want to also hear from you guys. What are your version of your favorite budget Micro Four Thirds lenses? Please comment down below. Quick disclaimer, today's video is not sponsored by anyone. I made this video purely because I love these lenses. However, some of the lenses that I will feature on today's video, especially the ultra budget ones, were sent to me free for review videos. However, I put them here not because anyone told me to do so. However, it is because I think they are truly good. I would actually use them on the real world, on the field, so I think they are worth considering. Anyway, if you want to support my channel, I think you should join my Patreon with the link right here, patreon.com/Gary_W. First lens on today's list is definitely your kit lens. Mine is the Panasonic Lumix 12 to 32mm f3.5 to f5.6. But if you are using an Olympus or OM system camera, that 14 to 42mm kit lens is also a great option. It is budget friendly because most of the time it's already included on your camera. It has a nice zoom range for everyday kind of photography. It is small, lightweight, it is very easy to carry around, and it produces great image quality in my opinion. Kit lenses are definitely underrated. I will share some sample pictures right now so you can see the kind of pictures that you can produce using kit lens. Problems with the kit lens, there are only a few. First of all, the aperture is not going to be impressive. f3.5 to f5.6, yeah, not going to be great for low light, and also not going to be great for background blur to get that beautiful bokeh pictures, and also flaring and ghosting backlight issues will be present with kit lens. But for 80% of your everyday photography needs, I think kit lenses can do that kind of stuff pretty well. Next lens on this list is definitely a mini telephoto lens. Mine is the Panasonic Lumix 35 to 100mm f4 to f5.6, but there are other options, especially some different flavors of 40 to 150mm lenses from Panasonic Lumix or Olympus or OM system. These lenses will definitely cost less than $400, and it is to cover the telephoto end of your kit lens. And with my particular 35 to 100, the image quality is so awesome. It is definitely budget in terms of price, but not budget when it comes to the quality of the images. So premium, you will be satisfied with it. And also it is small, compact and lightweight, perfect for travel and also for everyday photography. Check out some sample pictures right now. I think you will understand that this is not just a budget lens, but a true hidden gem of Micro Four Thirds lenses. Next choice is a budget everyday prime lens, and my particular favorite is the Panasonic Lumix 14mm f2.5. You can also go with something like the Olympus 17mm f2.8. That's also a great lens. It is a pancake lens, very small, very lightweight. I bought mine for less than 200 US dollars and it is in perfect condition. The image quality is also awesome. And the slightly larger f2.5 aperture can definitely help you for lower light situation as well as to get slightly more background blur compared to using your regular kit lens. One reason why I chose this guy as an everyday prime lens is because of the focal length. I think 14mm is great. It's not too wide, it's not too tight. It's just so excellent for different kind of stuff. Environmental portrait, food photography, product photography, street photography, sceneries, landscape, things like that. You can easily use 14mm for all of that stuff. But you don't have to stick with 14mm. As I mentioned earlier, Olympus 17mm is also a great option. 17 is a little bit more zoomed in, but you get a little bit more compression and subject separation from the background. Anyway, speaking about background blur and subject separation, my next choice is the Panasonic Lumix 20mm f1.7. Also small, also lightweight, it's also a pancake lens. The difference between this and the 14mm is that it's slightly more zoomed in to get that background blur, to get more subject separation from the background, and to get a little bit more of that 3D pop. This lens is so excellent in terms of image quality. I think this is the perfect street photography lens. It's a little bit more zoomed in, you get more of that pop, and I just love it so much. The only problem, small problem of the 20mm f1.7 is the slightly slower autofocus. I think that could be an issue if you are using very old Micro Four Thirds cameras, but if you are using anything from 2015 above, then I don't think it will be a problem at all. If the 20mm doesn't produce enough background blur and you want a dedicated portrait lens with a medium telephoto focal length, then I would suggest either the Olympus 45mm f1.8 or the Panasonic Lumix version 42.5mm f1.7. While the Olympus is more bare bone, it doesn't have any other features except being a great small little lens, the Panasonic Lumix version actually has image stabilizer and closer minimum focusing distance. But anyway, this lens is so excellent for portrait. Large f1.8 aperture, 45mm is medium telephoto. You have that nice distance between you and your subject, and the background blur quality is just awesome. Seriously, no complaint at all when it comes to this lens. Image quality, as I'm sharing to you right now, is just so great. Everything is just so sharp, so detailed, and just so nice to use. Anyway, now it's time for us to move into the ultra budget territory. As I mentioned before, these lenses were sent to me for free for review videos. However, I want to mention them in today's video because they are actually good. I would definitely use them on the field, no problem, and I think they can produce great results. Let's first begin with this guy right here. This is the TTArtisan 50mm f1.2. So if you want something that is cheaper than the Olympus 45mm f1.8, so this is about $400 and this is definitely less than $200, and you can get f1.2 aperture. Excellent image quality. I'm sharing you some sample pictures taken using this guy right now. The only problem with using a lens like this is that it's manual focus only, and f1.2 is actually very thin when it comes to focusing range. You have to be very careful. However, it is doable if you don't mind manual focus. You'll get great result using this TTArtisan lens to get that background blur for portrait. Next ultra budget option is the TTArtisan 23mm f1.4. So if the 50mm is almost like a dedicated portrait lens, I think this is more like an everyday lens. This is similar to a nifty 50. It has an equivalent focal length to almost 50, 46, not really that far. So I think this is more flexible for general everyday stuff, for street photography, for product photography, food photography, a little bit of scenery, a little bit of environmental portrait. Everything looks great with this guy. Again, the only problem is that it's full manual focus, so you have to be really mindful about that. And also, if you're shooting at the largest aperture, usually contrast is a little bit lacking. So you have to stop down just a little bit, maybe to around f2 or f2.8, then you'll get great result. Another great ultra budget lens option is this guy right here. This is quite new. This is the TTArtisan's 10mm f3.5 ultra wide angle lens for micro four thirds. $99 pancake lens, very small. This is regular wide angle, not that fish eye thingy wide angle lens. So you'll get rectilinear stuff and it's just so great. So small, so compact, image quality is great. Yes, f3.5 isn't exactly impressive, but for regular wide angle stuff, landscape photography, scenery, that kind of stuff, I think it is more than enough. And usually with landscape, you'd love to stop down anyway to maybe f5.6 or f8. So yeah, great little wide angle lens, very affordable, and I think a good choice to add into your micro four thirds lens collection. Anyway, before we end today's video, I just want to share a little bit about first party versus third party. So when given the choice, I will definitely choose the first party options, Panasonic Lumix lenses or Olympus OM system lenses, simply because they have autofocus, not because of the image quality. I think image quality between first party and third party nowadays are quite similar. But with autofocus, I think everything is much easier. You can shoot quicker. You don't have to fiddle around using the focus picking and the punch in zoom to get accurate focusing. You can just press the half shutter button and you'll get that accurate, precise focus. However, the ultra budget options, I think they do have their purpose. So if you want to experiment with lens that you don't think you will use often, I think going with ultra budget options is the best way to go. For example, you don't really shoot portrait that much, you shoot pretty much landscape and street photography. You only occasionally do portraits, maybe once or twice a year. Then investing in a full-blown first-party portrait lens like the Olympus, that'll cost much more compared to just spending your money on the ultra budget options like this. So if you need to experiment with lenses that you know you won't use that frequently, go with the ultra budget options first, test it and see how it goes. And that wraps up today's video. So that is all for my favorite budget lenses for micro four thirds camera format. Hopefully this has been interesting, entertaining, informative, and also fun. So yeah, I want to keep today's video simple and concise. I don't want to ramble on and on and on like my previous videos. That was too long. I'm sorry guys. I want to keep today's video as entertaining as possible without consuming too much time. But anyway, again, I want to learn from you guys. What are your version of your favorite budget micro four thirds lenses? Please let me know on the comment down below. I would love to learn more from you guys. Maybe I missed something that is actually good. Share down in the comment below and I want to read your comments. Also, please support my channel by liking this video, sharing this video, subscribing to my channel down below. And if you like my work and want to support me even further, consider using the affiliate links on the description below. Use the super thanks button to make a small donation to my channel or joining my Patreon membership, link also in the description below. Thank you and I will see you on the next video. Goodbye.